Welcome into the Nickel City Crew. I am your host, Rob Crippen. Please like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Nickel City Crew. This episode, along with all of our episodes, are presented by Crippen Legacy Entertainment here on Spreaker. We're so glad that you're joining us for some of your Buffalo Bills and NFL content again today. And as always, these are my Bills thoughts said out loud. All right, let's get straight to it. I mean, DT, you hear the building, man. Holla at the folks, man. Nickel City Crew, Bills Mafia. We are in the building. This is our second post-game show. I am so excited to be joined by you, DT, because of the fact that, listen, leading up to the game, I was so worried about the fact that I didn't think that the Bills fans, Bills Mafia, Nickel City Crew were paying enough respect to Lamar Jackson and to Crazy 8, and then I had to label the episode as such. Yo, man, that comeback was nice. The second half was nice. Talk to me, man. This is what the show is for, man. This is what the post-game show is for. Rapid fire. Holla at the crew, DT. What's up, man? Glad you're in the building, man.
Let's go. 3-1, Nickel City Crew. We're back. Finally, post-game, we can talk about a dub and what a dub it was. We're talking last week about concern about close games. Well, here we are, down 20-3, saddled up, adversity in our face, injuries, rain, whatever. 17 and the boys got it together, and we get out of there 3-1. Huge AFC win today, Rob. Huge AFC win. A lot of statements made. Wasn't the prettiest, but a win's a win in this league, and they're hard to come by, as we saw last week. So great to get back on the victory train. Great to be back on the post game with the Nickel City Crew. Let's unwrap it, baby. Let's unpack it.
Let's unpack it. Listen, as I was starting my notes, one of the major things that I decided to do as this season 2 of Nickel City Crew got underway, I knew I wanted to do this with you. I knew I wanted to have some type of rapid fire reaction to the actual gameplay itself. And I decided that the best way for me to kind of make sure that I took my own notes, it's funny. I listen to WGR all the time. And then, Howard Simon will always talk about how he has, the old legal pad, and he'll hold his legal pad and he'll kind of just take his notes, and then he'll bring them in on Monday, and him and Jeremy will kind of unpack it. Like you said, I take my notes on an actual like recorder. Like I'll just record, and that's the day, and that's what's going on, and then I'll pause it, and then I'll just pick it back up. And like, listen, as the game started, DT, I was upset. You know what I mean? I was a little bit like, what is going on with the offense? Because it was so crazy how the offense wasn't, they weren't performing. And it was really a situation where I thought that it was like, listen, if we are going to dink and dunk, and then, Dorsey is going to find a way where he's not really going to go for it on third downs, like, what are we in for? We could be in for a long afternoon. And like all of my notes, the first half we're in for a long afternoon.
There was concern going in with the injuries, with Lamar Jackson, with the weather, a lot of concerns going in, and it looked like they were almost going to lay over and give it to him early on with this Bills team. It looked like it was going to be one of those games where it was like, yep, everything's stacked against us. We're not going to get this dub. Lamar's a good team. Baltimore's a good team in every aspect. They're going to be there deep into the season as well, and we're going to fold over and not win this game. And that's what the old Bills regime would do. This is a game that you would fold over and lose quick. I mean, we had people in the house here looking at this game. This is like the opener in Baltimore a few years ago with Peterman, Josh Allen's debut, coming in 40-3 or whatever it is. There was talks 40-3. We're going to get blown out of this thing, and stay the course, stay together. I was confident as we went in with the offense barely touching the ball. Of course, they made some crucial mistakes in the first half with turnovers and just kind of stalling in every regard to not be in this game. And, they cleaned it up and got some rhythm in the second half. But, to come together and win this game with the concern and a rollover early, it looked like they could get blown out the gym. But this speaks volumes to what this team is some refer to as one of the best teams ever after the first 2 games in the NFL, and then a loss and another loss at 2-2. We talked about how realistic it could be.
I said it the other day.
How realistic could it be? How realistic could it be?
And listen, I'll be honest, I have to I have to wear, and I have to stay on brand. I told you guys, Nickel City Crew, I told you, Bills Mafia, I would not care if we were 2-2 or if we were 3-1 coming into this post game show because of the fact that I felt the same way about the Bills leading into the game that I would have felt if we had lost it. Now, the way the first half was going, DT, I didn't like it. Now, that didn't make me feel great about the Bills. However, the fact that how resilient they were, the fact that they did not give up, the fact that they literally kind of wrote it out. Once the actual first drive of the second half happened, DT, I kind of like my confidence, my whole swag. It was like I was getting filled up like BP. Like I felt like I was getting filled up on my tank. And I felt like it was a situation where, listen, if we can find a way to score on this next drive, we're right in the driver's seat.
Stop, score, stop, stop, score, stop, and it was
That's it.
it was a bunch of those together, and then going into that 10 that touchdown right before halftime was obviously crucial to the whole aspect of the game. Going into halftime, the biggest conversation is got to get a three and out here. Got to get a three and out. Not that the
Mhm.
Bills did anything with it right away, but that first stop I think was a stall of this Ravens defense since they kicked that field goal to make it 20-3, didn't score again. And truthfully so, the Bills really hang in there other than some penalties on that last drive when they got bailed out by a Poyer pick at the end. But other than that, defense came to play, really slowed down that Lamar Jackson offense and was very situational where they took advantage of stopping him right into that second half, stopping on that third down to really break the mojo and not let the Ravens get comfortable again. Didn't see the scoreboard again. Bills skate out of there with a win. What a game, Rob. What a game.
Yeah, man, it was amazing. It was an amazing game. It was an amazing finish. I mean, I enjoyed it so much, and it's funny. I'm getting ready to let us have some of our interactions. Part of the reason that I wanted to do like the post game show, DT, was because of the fact that I want to interact with fans and different things like that. Now,
Yep.
the fan that's coming on next right now, my man Jay, like, listen, he's a Giants fan. You know what I mean, DT. So because he's a Giants fan, like that has a hard, it's a hard for me. I cried the first time I cried over the Bills was Scott Norwood. You know what I mean? Super Bowl 25. I'm 5, 6, 7, and 8 as Nickel City Crew knows for the Super Bowl run. So I'm a little bit older than you, DT, and I was crushed by the Giants, and it hurt me. This guy I know that I'm bringing in right now, Jay. Listen, he's a Bills fan. He likes the Bills. He says that he likes the Bills. He says that he supports us, even though he's a Giants fan at heart. Listen, holla at us right now, man. Listen, you got some exclusive time on the show.
Oh,
Holla at
that's
Jason
good.
Bacino. Listen,
Uh,
holla at my man Dump Truck, my man Adam Rupsick, the
what up,
co-host of
GC?
Nickel
How you
City
doing, man?
Crew.
What's up, Jay? How we doing, man?
Good, man. I can't believe that they didn't kick that field goal. Lamar had to go for it on fourth down. I thought they would be smart about it. I was like, if they hold them right here, I said the game's over. That's it. And then they covered the three, Rob. So they covered the three.
Yeah, they covered the three. I don't bet on my
Yeah, a
team like
push.
like you don't bet on your
Yeah.
team as well with the actual with the Giants. But listen, DT, it was interesting as we went into half. I was more worried about the fact that the Bills had found a way where it was kind of like, listen, if we're not going to get something going on offense like right away, like out of this next drive in the third quarter, like this could have got like real shitty real quick.
Could have
Like
got out of hand.
it could have got out of hand like real quick. So I was really worried as I approached the second half. Talk to me about your feelings as you were approaching the second half because it's funny that you joke around about wanting to do this post game show with a W, but after last week, like I told everybody, like it wasn't going to be easy cakes. Like, talk to me about how you felt going into the second half, like rapid fire, rapid reaction.
Well, the confidence I think was there, but just because the offense didn't touch the ball a lot in the first half. And granted, they didn't touch the ball because they turned the ball over, so they didn't have it in their hands. But when it came to the second half, they had barely had a drive together. The one full drive they had, they drove right down the field, for that field goal in the first. So I knew once they started going and if they could get some strings of possessions together, they could get some points on the board against this Ravens defense. And that's what they did. Josh Allen was calm, composed all second half, in the pocket. Credit to this offensive line for kind of having a revamp from last week. And the Ravens were bringing pressure all game. They were bringing blitzers from everywhere. And it looks like the line did a good job of holding them in there and giving Josh time. Josh had to do Josh, he had to get out of the pocket a few times, make some crazy breakouts. But
Yeah,
smart composure, that's what you got to see from your multi-$100 million
yeah,
quarterback. Composure
yeah,
like that down the stretch.
yeah.
Pressure's on. Offensive line did well, but I was confident going into the second half, Rob. I knew they didn't touch the ball a lot. I knew they were
Right,
going to string it together. And this
right.
defense hasn't done us wrong yet. This defense
No,
hasn't done us
they
wrong
really
yet. They
have it,
they
man.
again contained Lamar. They couldn't get off the field on a few crucial ones, but for the most part, they did a great job against this Baltimore offense. Really got them out of their rhythm and literally didn't let them score again after they got to the 20. So the confidence I had in this offense, getting a rhythm going into the second half because they didn't touch the ball, and this defense hasn't done us wrong yet this year. I was confident there. Here we are, 23-20, 3-1.
Yeah, man, 3-1. I mean, I'm excited about it because the fact that, I'm happy to be wrong. I told you guys about, Nickel City Crew, but Bills Mafia. I told you guys the first 7 games of the meat of the schedule. And I'm not like I wanted us to go 17-0 just like everybody else did. Like people, they're hitting me up right now on the chat and like, listen, I never wanted the Bills to not do the best that they could do. Like I'm the same. It's just as you guys are. I just wanted to keep a level head. I wanted to make sure that we kept everything in perspective. I thought that it was important to keep everything in perspective. And we were never going 17-0. We were never going 16-1. And this team right now, the way that they're playing defense, every single week, DT, like there's not a week where we can't be in it. As we move forward, and we start to, set our, our sights on Pittsburgh. Like, listen, I cannot wait to get there to you to the tailgate. Like,
Yeah,
come on, man. I mean, come
gonna
on,
be it.
man. Like, I
Early,
mean,
early
come
morning next
on,
Sunday.
man. Like, come
Early morning
on,
next Sunday. We're gonna
come
we're gonna get
on, come
get the
on.
mimosa, get the turkey fryer going, Rob. It's going to be a great day next Sunday to reunite with you for sure. And that's what it's all about, coming down the stretch in the NFL with these games. They got to get them done, and this
Mhm.
team found a way to do it defensively. Didn't matter who was on the defensive line. You still got Ed Oliver out, still
That's
got
right.
Jordan Phillips out,
That's right.
and they were able to get pressure and contain. Let up a few runs, but contain Lamar Jackson. They, in the pocket, he wasn't comfortable all day, and it don't matter who's in the secondary. I haven't seen anybody get cooked yet. That 3rd and 22 in the Dolphins, as we talked
That's
about earlier,
it.
it was the only time they got
That's it.
real beat out there.
That's it.
Everything's in front of them, everything's contained, and that's to the style and the scheme of this defense too. They're more definitely shelled than nothing behind you in all regards. So it doesn't matter who's out there, but pay the right people, man. And Matt Milano this year coming in on the pay, he's an
Mhm.
animal out there from
Mhm.
sideline to
Mhm.
sideline. Same with Tremaine. This defensive line did their job. Every aspect of this defense did their job today. Thank God we got Jordan Poyer back, and I look forward for this defense to keep getting healthy. We get an all pro back in a few weeks at corner too, Rob, and
I
that's
mean,
exciting
come
for this
on,
team
talk
as
to
this
me.
defense is
Talk to
is
me. You see him
dominant
right.
in
You see
in
him
all
right.
aspects.
Right behind
What
me. I got.
other exactly other than Mahomes coming up, other than Mahomes in 2 weeks, there's not a lot of great quarterbacks left on this schedule. And if this defense is doing this to good quarterbacks, it's going to be very comfortable for Josh Allen to be able to get in the rest of the season and score points.
Yeah, and it's so true what you're saying in respects to the fact that the schedule is getting ready to soften up when as we get going. I was most concerned with the fact that you know, Mahomes, who I call the boogeyman, and Nickel City Crew knows that. And then, you've got Rogers coming to town. And then obviously this week with Crazy Eight, and I named the episode after him because of the fact that I was kind of worried about some of the better quarterbacks. Last year's defense did not face better quarterbacks. They didn't. And we know that to be true. And we talked about that in season 1 of Nickel City Crew. As we move forward to season 2 of Nickel City Crew, I had to acknowledge the fact that, listen, it's not going to be easy because of the fact that some of these signal callers know what's going on with their offense and they know how to exploit weaknesses. This D doesn't seem to have many weaknesses. And even though the fact that the secondary has been kind of shuffled in and out, DT, like they have really shown up well. I am proud of Kyrie Elam. I am proud of Dane Jackson getting a chance to come back in the game. I'm proud of like some of these guys. Like, listen, they've shown up big. And going forward, I kind of can rest my head a little bit safer on the pillow at night because I know that these guys have kind of been battle tested through these first 3 weeks.
Yeah, in 4 games, 4 very different quarterbacks they faced, coming in. Very different game plans to be able to contain all these guys from Matt Stafford to week 1 to Lamar Jackson in this week.
Week 4.
Every difference in between with a left-handed to a last week.
Mhm.
It was different game plans every week, and they keep putting out the same output. And
That's right.
that's the proof in the pudding of a good defense right there. Don't matter who you play, what scheme you got to do, it's get it done and stop them. And that's what they did. And in huge regard today, obviously on the fourth down and with the pick to seal it for the final drive. But all the way up until then, that was their longest drive I think the Ravens had of the game was that last drive. So up until then, the Bills, did their job on defense. I can't wait because this defense is only going to get better as they become more healthy, get back rolling, have more
Yeah.
cohesion.
Yeah.
I can't wait, Rob.
Yeah, no, I can't wait either because the defense, it seems like they're already in sync and we're only going to get a chance to get, healthier as the season goes along. So I'm excited about that as we kind of will peek and look at we're still going to actually be on our official time slot of releasing on Tuesday mornings for Nickel City Crew on the official Buffalo fan base, which is a part of Bills Mafia Podcast Network. I'm very excited as we go into the second half of this evening, the 4 o'clock the 4 o'clock games, along with the night game and then Monday Night Football. DT, I'm very excited for next week. I think that the Bills are in a position now where they're able to kind of sit back and make sure that they're all healthy and kind of get everybody ready to go for next Sunday. And I feel like it's a situation where, listen, if there's veteran days that need to be taken this week, take them because the Pittsburgh Steelers coming into Buffalo without Watt, I mean, with Trubisky, like, I'm not trying to sound disrespectful, but like this should be a win. Like you and I should be meeting up in the morning, you know what I mean, and having a great time. And then we should be huddling into the stadium, all of us, Bills Mafia, Nickel City Crew. This should be a win on Sunday.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I don't know, but like after today, like I just feel so much better about the squad. I really do. I feel better about the team because of the fact that I know that they're battle tested. Miami was a grueling effort, and it took a lot, to come out of that game. And even though the fact that we lost it, I know there's no more victories, but we came out of it, and it was a lesson learned. Today, man, was just total grit. I don't have many worries. I don't have many worries going forward, man.
And it's not reestablishing the narrative here, it's reaffirming the narrative.
Hmm. Hmm.
This came
Hmm.
in the best team in the league, Super Bowl favorite, 2 dominant wins to start the season, a quick drop in a BS game in Miami. Let's be real on that. And
Right.
coming into then I talked about it on our episode last week. The vibe changed. The concern was there. The hurt Bills fans were still there.
You
And
spoke
we
about
got to
it a
play
lot,
another team.
DT. Yeah, you spoke about
We
it a
got to
lot.
play another good team. We'll see what happens. And no, adversity, everything went wrong that could have went wrong in this game, and they still found a way to fight the adversity, come through, and dominate. Really, other than when they were down 20-3, they dominated every second after that, the rest of the entire game, and that reaffirmed the narrative, not change the narrative back to we're a good team again. No, reaffirm we're the dogs in this league, and you're going to have to bring a lot to beat us.
Yeah, you are going to have to bring a lot to beat the Bills because today could have definitely gone completely sideways, as we talked about earlier. It could have gone off the rails, and the Ravens got a big win over the Bills. 31-10 or something like that, or 31-13. It didn't go that way. The Bills
We're
fought.
probably a possession away from that, Rob. To
Yeah,
be,
they really
and
were. It
that
was
just shows
close.
that
It was
shows this league.
close.
That shows this league. That's
It's
why
close.
you can't overreact on anything. As we say, next week should be a win, and we expect it to be. You got to take it seriously and go in there and get it done in every aspect. There's still some good players you got to defend against, but yeah, I mean it should be a win in the fact of this is one you check off the list, get rolling, get that snowball from the top down as they kind of reaffirm the narrative of if it's not good from the start, it gets rumbly at the end. This was not good from the start. Reestablish, get the dub.
Get the dub, man. You got to get the dub. Listen, I am so excited for this season. I really do think that this could be a season where we are getting ready to plan a parade. DT, I know that it sounds crazy, and I know that everybody else is. Listen, I've never once said 17-0, 16-1, 15-2. I'm on the record 13-4. I think that today's win was really gritty. It was one that I had chalked down as a loss, and which makes me feel better about 14-3. You know what I mean? I had 13-4, 12-5 is most likely. You know, today feels really good. It feels good, and it's going to feel even better tomorrow as we wake up as Bills fans, because I know that this was a win on the road, which was not going to be easy. It was never going to be easy, and the way that the game started, it kind of had you feeling like, wow, this could be a really shitty day. The Bills turned it around. They played well in the second half, shut out the Ravens. I'm so excited as we go forward. Nickel City Crew, listen, if there's anything that you think that the Bills can't do, just make sure that you understand that Josh Allen is able. I don't
Yeah.
know what else to say.
That's what it
I
is.
mean, I
And
must
that's
have
what it is.
recorded so many things on my phone, DT, about like, yo, Josh Allen is a monster. Like, I'm not talking about highlight reels. He didn't jump over a linebacker today. He didn't, stiff arm somebody into the mantle of the earth today. He made plays when he needed to make plays. He was so clutch. That play to Shakir on the sideline. I mean, come on, man. There's not many quarterbacks that are making that play. I am so excited by the fact that I have a quarterback that I can trust in implicitly. Like I trust him. He can do anything he wants to do with the Buffalo Bills offense. I trust Josh Allen. I really do, DT.
Huge aspect of the game. Think of all those plays he extended, whether he was running or that pass to Shakir at the end, where those are throwaways or a sack on
For the
30
regular
other
quarterback,
quarterbacks
for the
or
Jimmy
30 other
Garoppolo.
quarterbacks. Those
Yeah,
are
for
those are
30.
throwaways or
Yeah,
sacks, and those
for
are
about
possessions.
29
And those are
others. Yes.
possessions we're scoring on. So that's something you can't take for granted as a Bills fan because of how dominant it is. And you don't see it in real time of how dominant it is and how what type of beast that is. Puts it on his back, gets it done. Those rushes were insane. They were gutsy, hard rushes to get there. When he fumbled and he almost got the first down when he fumbled and ran forward, almost got that first down on there. Just
Yeah.
that drive is, what you like to
Yeah.
see, and didn't let the weather become an issue. Got the ball to his receivers. All the passes that were not good were drops. They were drops where the
Yeah.
receivers hit
Crowder
him in
had
the
a
hands, hit
few.
him
I
in the
mean,
hit
yeah,
him in the
Crowder
middle of
had a
the
few right in
numbers.
his
So,
face mask.
no qualms. There was no excuse Josh Allen had in that. Even the pick was, a tip. That would be my one critique on him today of, some of these tip balls are coming, like he's throwing them right into the guys in the line. And that's something that,
Right.
he will be working on moving forward. But the way to put the team on the back, a will to get it done. And that's what it takes. That's what other quarterbacks can't do in this league, Rob. And you don't see it in real time of how much weight this guy has on his back as he's rushing for those first downs and getting it done and making the throws every time other. And it's I was like, ooh, I don't like to see him get hit. I don't like to see him get hit, but that's part of it now. He gets hit, he pops up, and that's what
He
gets him
pops
going.
up,
So,
man. I mean, he
yeah,
pops
it's
up.
it's you can't characterize how important that is to have on your team of that X factor that nobody else has.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Josh Allen is a monster. He really is. And as much as I tried to relate to everyone the other episode the other day that he is a human being, he sometimes makes us feel like he is superhuman. And it really was a wonderful performance today by the Buffalo Bills defense and offense, special teams. Everybody kind of pitched in today for this win. I'm so happy that we're 3-1 and not 2-2. And I'm excited, man. DT, sign us off tonight because listen, we'll be back on Tuesday. I can't wait. We release on Tuesday morning, first thing in the morning for your morning drive. I'm excited. Really, I can't wait to watch the 4 o'clock games and see how they unfold. I know it's about 5 o'clock now, 5:15 here, and I can't wait. We got the Sunday night game, and then we'll just kind of go from there. DT, listen, the Bills are 3-1. I am so sad with everything that has happened with Tua Tagovailoa. I'm really, really sad, to be honest. And I know that you are as well, DT. We talked about it, off air. I feel like the Dolphins failed them. You know what I mean? I put it on Twitter. I feel like they failed them. I feel like the league failed them. I know that the NFLPA has their investigation ongoing. Just kind of put on the bow on the episode tonight, DT, with your thoughts on it. Because listen, everything that has had to be said has been said. You know what I mean? Listen, he definitely had a concussion. It was bullshit that they said that it was his back on last Sunday when he was clearly not grabbing his back, and he was shaking off cobwebs and then trying to stand up and then falling back down. I just feel like it's a situation where the NFL kind of failed him, and I just feel horrible for him. I really don't know any other way to kind of sugarcoat it. I feel horrible.
Feel horrible for him, the team, and the NFL in general. As a fan of the NFL, this is the stuff that is possible of ending the game in general. As
Yeah,
there's more injuries,
yeah,
more head injuries, more studies that come out. This is a threat to the game in general. So
yeah,
obviously, definitely thoughts to him. Number one, and his safety is more important than anything. But going into the league and seeing stuff like this happen, I don't know if it's happening more frequently. I don't know the statistics on it, but it seems so. It seems like every time I'm watching a game, somebody's getting hurt pretty bad out there when it comes to head injury there, and it's something that the league is continuously trying, hopefully trying to, deter, not in this case, but a situation where it's a threat to the game itself if this
yeah.
stuff continues.
Yeah, the independent neurologist, excuse me, I guess he apparently was fired yesterday. They put out a post on ESPN, and I read it. But listen, the whole point is that after Sunday, any person with common sense would be able to tell that he was not feeling well in the head, and then for him to be able to be cleared to go back into that game in the second half against the Bills, and then obviously again on Thursday night to be trotted back out there, it kind of makes it just the NFL look bad. Not kind of, it does. And it's just really sad. I hope that he's okay. I hope that, his recovery comes along well. And just from Nickel City Crew, Bills Mafia, just know that like this is a game. This is a kid's game. They get paid for it. They are professional athletes. It is entertainment, but it's not scripted like WWF or anything like that, DT. But it is paid entertainment. We are paid to be entertained by these young men. And it's tough. I mean, it's shitty. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's shitty. He shouldn't have been able to come back into the Bills game, let alone be out there on Thursday night. It didn't even seem like the hit itself was as bad as it was with Matt Milano when he pushed him down. It doesn't matter. Like, he's got concussions within the past 5 days back to back. Like, it's horrible, to be honest. There's no way to sugarcoat it.
I hope this brings patience to NFL fans around the league of, especially Bills fans looking at this injured list of 30% of the roster being injured, and going in and wow, we got the Ravens this week. I hope some of these guys are back to have patience to make sure these guys are back and good to go and not rush anybody back because we saw that could have been the worst repercussion of bringing somebody back too early in the Tua situation. So, a
Yeah.
little bit of patience to the NFL fans of when you looked at your team's injured list, know that the conservative way is the way to go in these situations to bring these guys back at full health,
Slowly, man,
at full,
slowly. Look at Dane
for
Jackson
the
getting
for the
out there on the
importance of
field
them,
today.
their health number one,
Mhm.
yeah, and the
Yeah,
game,
look at Dane
So
Jackson getting out there
that's
today. Like, I mean, Dane
yeah,
Jackson, like that's a blessing. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like my brother said, like I thought his head was taken off. He was like when they went to commercial, like I didn't know like if they were gonna come back and said like he was dead. Like that was
yeah.
wild. That was a crazy hit from friendly fire from Tremaine Edmonds. Like that's crazy. And he was out there today. So that's a blessing. So this is a sport. It's a violent sport. That's one of the reasons why I was very hesitant to let my boys play. They just started. My two older boys started playing tackle football this past year, and I'm in a situation where I'm always making sure that the coaches are teaching the proper way for them to tackle, making sure it's heads up. All those commercials and shit, DT, are cute and heads up NFL heads up program and shit like that. But when you see Tua the way he was on the field the other night, like it kind of makes you be cynical about like how much does the NFL really care and give a shit about my son. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they really weren't there for Tua. And in my opinion, he should have never been able to be back on the field, against the Bills last week after halftime. So listen, we'll end it there. Prayers go up, to Tua and his family, and hopefully he has a speedy recovery. And if that means football in his future, then fine. But we want him to be okay as a person first. I've been excited, DT. This was a crazy, crazy week. The Nickel City Crew post game show. I think this was a success. Week 4, this was
Yeah.
fun. This was
Right.
but it's much better than
This
doing
team
losses. I know that shit.
this team is easy to talk about. This team is
Yeah.
easy to talk about, Rob,
Yeah,
and
3 and
we got
1.
it done in a resilient way today.
Yeah, man,
Huge
3 and
AFC
1.
win, 3-1, and
3 and
can't wait
1.
to see you next Sunday, big guy. Can't wait to see you
I
next
can't
Sunday,
wait.
bright and
Listen,
early,
I'm getting
bright and
out
early.
there early, man. I'll either be on the road by Friday or Saturday at the latest, and I cannot wait to see you. Listen, Nickel City Crew, shout out to all the fans of Nickel City Crew. We love you guys, man. My sister, man, Drew Farah. I mean, DT's peoples that been following from Syracuse and Brandon Morgan's all. Listen, we love y'all. Listen, this is a family. Nickel City Crew, we are family. So as always, these were my Bills thoughts said out loud. Hit them with the Go Bills, DT, man. Go Bills with the
Go
comeback
Bills,
win.
go Bills on to Pittsburgh. Go Bills.
Come, yeah, they coming to the crib, though. They coming to the Ralph.